Down here?
Hello.
Hello. Up here? Wait, where are you?
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you at?
Hello.
No, over here. Charlie. Over here.
Up here.
What up, YouTube? Monday session is in the books. Completed. Played 7 hours. And I have 2 specific hands that I'd like to get into. Most of the session was kind of fairly standard, not much going on. But there are 2 hands that I think are of note and worth discussing. The first one actually is precluded by a hand where I open to 20 with ace-jack. Somebody calls, and now the button makes it like 65. I have ace-jack offsuit out of the position here. I don't have any information against this player. He is wearing sunglasses, and I just kind of feel like he could be overly aggressive. Something about him tells me like he's not like some sort of pro, but at the same time, when he 3-bets me here out of position, I'm not going to be electing to call here pre-flop out of position. Obviously, I could turn my hand into a bluff and just 4-bet pre and try to take it down, but out of position, I don't really love it because I think he's going to call some decent percentage of the time. When he folds, it's like I pick up $100, and when he calls, I can get myself into some serious trouble post-flop. So I decided to fold. The very next hand, I pick up pocket kings. And I open again at 20, the same opening size as I generally have in this game. And now it folds back to the same guy who had just 3-bet me to 65. And now he 3-bets me to 50. Pretty strange. Folds back to me. And so I think what's really interesting in this hand is how I end up going forward. By 4-betting pre-flop, I kind of announced the strength of my hands. Granted, he did just 3-bet me. So me 4-betting doesn't mean I necessarily have to have that big of a hand. But I think it's quite apparent that he's fairly aggressive, given that he's 3-bet me twice in 2 hands in a row. And so by just calling, I kind of give him enough rope to get out of line post-flop. So I like to just call, keep ranges wide. I don't want to just, give away the fact that I have a big hand pre-flop here. So I just call the 30 more, and we go heads up to a flop, which I believe comes like Jack 9-4, something like that. Rainbow. I check, and he checks back. And once he checks back here, I think he's going to have like ace high a lot. I think it's specifically like ace king, ace queen high. The turn is a 7, and I think about checking to kind of let him bluff, but I decided to just go for value. People hate folding, so I bet 65 into the $100 pot, and now he raises me like 100, 105 more, something like that, which to me feels a ton like an air bowl. Like the hand that he's representing here is exactly like top set pocket jacks, or really that's about it. Like I don't see any other hand here that would check back jack high board and then suddenly be raising the turn. So it feels a lot to me like he's got exactly ace high. I call, planning on essentially snapping off all rivers that aren't an ace. So the river is the offsuit 10. I check, and now he kind of shakily grabs chips, and again, it just super looks like he's going to be going for a bluff here. I don't know exactly how much he bet, if it was like 180, 220, because he had like these like oversized stacks of chips. But I snap call him, and he's like, good call. He shows ace king high. There's a guy at the table who proceeds to kind of needle me, joking about how I could have gotten way more if I obviously had 4-bet on pre-flop. The player with ace king ends up saying something along the lines of like he's not going broke with ace king. I don't really know. Obviously, if I do raise pre-flop, maybe we could get it in for like $1,000, and I end up winning a much bigger pot. Not really sure. I think people are just way more cautious than they used to be. A lot of times here, I think if I do 4-bet, he's just going to call. I'm going to c-bet the flop, and he's just going to fold a lot. So it's possible that I ended up getting max value by playing the hand the way I did. I'm not really sure. I do kind of like the way I played it, given that I'm out of position, and against what it seems to be an aggressive opponent, I allow him to kind of get out of line post-flop. The next hand, which I think is really interesting, it comes towards the end of the session. I have ace queen of diamonds in the big blind. The player who had previously just needled me about the ace king versus king's hand. So he opens to 20. I think there's one caller on the button. I have ace queen suited in the big blind. I had just 3-bet ace jack suited and felt like obviously I could be 3-betting here again. Because I'm suited, I like just calling, going multi-way. I can try to flush over flush somebody. I think 3-betting here is fine. It's probably the preferred thing to be doing here against like a middle late position open. But I like to just call. The flop comes queen 5-5. Perfect. I think I'm going to have the best hand here a ton. And I'm looking to just kind of get max value from it post-flop. So I check. Pre-flop opener was 40 to 60. The button folds, and I think the standard play here is to just call. Obviously, I could check raise and merge my ace-queen here with like some fives and possibly try to get max value out of him if he does have like king-queen, queen-jack, queen-10, something like that. But I like to just call. The turn, I believe, is like an offsuit 7. I check, and he checks back. When he does this, I think he's just going to have air balls a ton. When it comes queen 5-5 rainbow, and I check call out of position, I'm pretty much going to have a queen or a 5 here 100% of the time. So on the river, which comes in offsuit 10, I'm now going in the tank, deciding what exactly I want to do. The first thing I thought of was overbetting for value. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, what's the point in doing that? As played, my hand here is going to be a queen or a 5, like 100% of the time. Maybe some pocket pairs between 5s and queens, like 8s, 9s, 10s, something like that. But I think when I overbet here, I'm just not going to get heroed unless he specifically has a hand like king, queen, or queen, jack. So after thinking about it for a little bit, I was just like, overbetting here. I'm not actually targeting the hands that I think he's going to have a lot, which are the pocket pairs between the queen and the 5. And similarly, I think he's just going to have an air ball here a lot. So I could check to try to snap off his bet. But by doing that, I don't see him betting very often because, again, like I said, I think I'm going to have a queen or a 5 here a lot. It's going to look like I'm check calling. Specifically, when I check the river, probably not a 5, so it looks like a queen that wants to check call, and I don't think he's going to bluff often enough. So I like to just bet 60 for value, targeting maybe his queen, jack, king, queen, and pocket pairs. And now he kind of thinks for a bit, grabs calling chips, and makes it 300 more. And I'm just like, holy crap. When he does this, he's pretty much, I think, saying he has exactly pocket 10s. And because of the sizing, because of the hands we've played in the past, I just kind of decide, like, I don't think about it very long, and I'm just like, whatever, like, you have pocket 10s, congrats. If you're bluffing me, like, congrats. It feels like a really dumb and stupid spot to be bluffing because essentially the only hand he's exactly representing is pocket 10s. And because it's such a small part of his range, bluffing here is really dumb, in my opinion anyway. So I like to fold, and he kind of smile mucks, like open mucks, kind of overhanded what looks to be like ace 9, ace 8, something like that. Basically an air ball. He's trying to show me a bluff. He doesn't get to have the hand turnover, but it's obvious that he was trying to show me a bluff. And looking back on it, I feel really, really stupid. Like, literally for the next maybe 45 minutes as I played, I was really mad at myself for how I played the hand. On the flop, I'm super excited that I have top, and I'm looking to extract max value. And then somehow on the river, I end up playing it in a way where I fold the best hand, and what I think is going to be the best hand a large percentage of the time. At the time when I got raised on the river, I just thought it was a really stupid spot to be raising because he's representing such a narrow range that he's going to get called a lot, and I just didn't give it any thought. And so I'm really mad at myself that I didn't give it any thought. He obviously outplayed me, and more specifically, he did to me exactly what I do to everybody else. When I'm betting 60 on this river, it looks a lot like I have a cap range of king, queen, maybe ace, queen, but probably not, queen, jack, something like that, queen 10 at best, and even queen 10 I probably go for a larger value because now I can beat a lot of his better queens. And so once my range looks so capped here, it's a perfect spot for him to bluff me, which is exactly what he did. He basically owned me and did to me exactly what I do to everybody else all the time. So I feel really stupid. I'm really upset at myself. The pot is, rather large once he makes it 360. There's like over $500 in there. And so I feel really, really dumb that despite winning like almost $1,200 on the day, that I should have won significantly more. I play the hand in a pretty goofy manner. He then tries to give me significantly more, and I'm just like, I didn't even think about it. I mean, I was a bit tired. I played for like 7 hours, and I didn't even think about it. I was just sort of like, okay, whatever, you have pocket 10s, like, whatever, you're bluffing me, like, congrats, I fold, like, nice bluff. Not even thinking about it, right? I'm just like, whatever. Like, if you really want to make it 300 more here, go ahead. And if I had just sat and paused and thought about it for a while, I would have been like, all right, look, literally you're representing 10s full. If you have 10s full, are you really going to make it $360 here? Because, like, I just don't have a 5 often enough to be calling that raise. So, just, like I said, I feel stupid. I essentially played my hand face up as a super capped range of a queen and just gave the pot away. Anyway, that's about all that I wanted to get into. Like I said, I ended up winning about 1,100. I think I won 1185 for the day. Nice session, but at the end of the day, I'm still just really mad at myself because of that last big blunder that I made. It's hands like this that are going to make up your sessions. You know, $500 isn't necessarily easy to make in these games. So when an opportunity such as this arises where someone's just playing a hand that's just so obviously a bluff, you know, I should be snapping it off. Like, it doesn't matter if the raise is massive and stupid that I'm just like, whatever, like, fine, your raise is massive, like, I fold. I should be actually putting thought into it, realizing that he's attacking my capped range and snapping him off here all day long. All right, well, that's it for Monday. Heading to pick up Charlie now. I'm gonna have dinner with my wife, who should be getting out of work early, so I'm excited for that. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you tomorrow.